and potentially could be a 2-year contract because there is an option. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today we have to touch on managers. Big story on Pep Guardiola, not only. Let's jump into it together. And so guys, the big bomb is here, what I've been telling you for weeks. Remember all the videos here on the channel. Man City confident to keep Pep Guardiola. Man City optimistic to continue with Pep Guardiola. Man City working on the new contract of Pep Guardiola. Now we have the here we go. Agreement done. Pep Guardiola stays at Manchester City also for next season 25-26. So the plan is confirmed, the documents are ready, time to sign for Pep Guardiola as Manchester City head coach also for season 25-26 and with an option for season 26-27. What does it mean? That for next season Pep Guardiola has guaranteed his decision to stay at Manchester City and potentially could be a 2-year contract because there is an option. So if at the end of the season 25-26 Guardiola and Manchester City, and remember there will be a big change at Manchester City with a new director, Ugo Viana, set to work for Man City from 2025, if they will be all happy with this new group, with this new vision, but with the same idea, winning titles together, now is important to mention that Pep Guardiola also included in his contract this special clause to extend for one more season. So 2025-2026 guaranteed, one more year as potential opportunity in case they are all happy together. Club and manager. It's a fantastic news for Manchester City, incredible news for Manchester City, because to keep a manager like Pep Guardiola is always a success, so it's a great achievement for the club. It's also important to say that Manchester City have always been optimistic for several reasons. They always had this feeling of Pep Guardiola, who now maybe because also of the recent results, Man City are not doing as well as they were doing in the recent years, and so they see in Pep Guardiola's eyes the ambition to do again something historical at City. And also the ambition of Pep Guardiola to help the club in a big change, because in October the director of football, Xabi Begiristain, one of the best in the world in his role for years and years, is gonna leave the club. He decided that in October, and so was a big news for Manchester City, a big shock for Manchester City. Not a shock in the sense that was unexpected, because was always expected Xabi Begiristain to leave Manchester City at some point. So in the industry, the feeling was clear already before October. But it's a big shock to change the system without a top director like Xabi Begiristain, who at the beginning of 2025 is going to help the new director, Ugo Viana, exclusive story from October, new director of Manchester City from Sporting. So he's going to help Ugo Viana, but he's still a new structure, he's still a new face, he's still a new Manchester City. But continuing with Pep Guardiola as a coach is obviously a big guarantee for Man City. Let me tell you also that Manchester City never reached out to other coaches. We had reports of Manchester City thinking of Xabi Alonso. We had reports of Manchester City thinking of Ruben Amorim. I can guarantee to you that for several reasons, for example, tactical for Ruben Amorim, for example, they know that Xabi Alonso is a top priority for Real Madrid. Manchester City know that very well. So Man City never reached out to any other coach. Then you can appreciate coaches. This is absolutely normal. All top clubs always follow and monitor the progress of several coaches. Xabi Alonso, Amorim and others are excellent coaches and so obviously appreciated, but they never reached out to agents or to the manager directly to start a conversation. Maybe you want to take the role in case Pep leaves. Man City, I can guarantee that, never did this, just because Man City always thought internally Pep is going to stay. Pep is going to continue. Pep is going to sign an extension at the club. And this is happening now. So the official statement is coming. But for Manchester City, the most important part is that they continue with Guardiola and they were never in touch with any other manager. And mentioning other managers is important to say that Manchester City are aware also of the situation around Europe. 2025 is going to be an important year, and so to make sure they have Pep Guardiola signing an extension now in 2024, in November, is a big success. What's the situation in terms of managers? Ruben Amorim, as we know, is going to be against Ipswich Town on his debut with Manchester United, so one more manager who is not part of any list for top clubs around Europe because the top club is already there. He's going to be the manager of Man United. Xabi Alonso, let me repeat once again what I've been saying for weeks, for months, is the favorite candidate of Florentino Perez for Real Madrid. So, in case Real Madrid at the end of the season or in any other moment, could be 25, could be 26, in any moment Real Madrid decide to change the manager, Xabi Alonso is the favorite candidate of the president, Florentino Perez, because Florentino believes that Xabi Alonso is a top coach, is a top guy. They know, obviously, him, when he was a player, was super appreciated on and off the pitch, and now also as a coach at Real Madrid, especially Florentino, believes that Xabi Alonso has everything as a person, as a coach. His style is the perfect Real Madrid style. So Xabi Alonso is considered the main candidate for Real Madrid. This is the clear feeling. And so it's also important to say that Manchester City never made any direct contact, also because imagine that in the football world, which is very small, to make contact with another coach, you will know about that in 5 seconds. And so that could be a problem, because Manchester City always told Pep Guardiola that their option number 1, 2 and 3 was to continue with Pep. Man City never really considered to change Pep system, Pep vision, Pep ideas. And so now the mission is completed. Pep Guardiola stays. What does it mean? That we have to see what's going to happen also with Xabi Alonso now. Xabi in 2025 will decide his future. At Bayer Leverkusen, they obviously dream and hope that he can continue for one more season, but they also know internally at Bayer Leverkusen that Xabi Alonso is aware of the strong interest of Real Madrid. They know at Bayer Leverkusen that Real Madrid at some point, again, it could be 25 or maybe 26 if Ancelotti will do great in the second half of the season, but in any case, they know that Real Madrid are there and they know about the appreciation of Florentino Perez. So Xabi Alonso is going to be the other big name on the market now that Manchester City job will no longer be available, and now the Manchester City job will be again for him, for the man, for Pep Guardiola. So let's follow the situation with Xabi Alonso. And also important to say, another manager that from what I'm hearing is super appreciated around Europe for the job he's doing is Sebastian Hoeneß at Stuttgart. He's another coach who has a lot of fans around Europe. He's doing an excellent job. Already last season, Stuttgart are now in Champions League. What they've been doing in Champions League has been very appreciated by many directors around Europe. So several coaches to follow in the next months for potential top clubs. Stuttgart are also aware of the situation for Sebastian Hoeneß, but it's important to say and to mention once again that Pep Guardiola stays, Pep signs an extension, great news for Manchester City, and Xabi Alonso will be now the one to watch for 2025 with Real Madrid, especially with the president Florentino Perez, considering him an ideal candidate. But let's see and let's follow what Real Madrid will decide to do for 2025 in terms of coach. And so guys, let me know your opinion on this story. Pep Guardiola, Ruben Amorim, also obviously Xabi Alonso. I want your opinion here in comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Ciao.